Hello students, in this session we will be having an overview of simulator. Simulation provides a realistic imitation of any system. It describes a system behavior under certain conditions. Simulation is used before new system is built. It reduces the chance of failure, optimize system performance, prevent overutilization of resources, visualize a new plan and eliminate unseen bottlenecks. A simulator is nothing but a device that may use any combination of sound, sight, motion and smell to make you feel that you are experiencing an actual situation. Some video games and 7D pictures are good example of low-end simulators. For example, you have played race car and arcade games. The booths containing these games have a steering wheel, stick shift, gas and brake pedals and a display monitor. You use these devices to drive your race car along the track and through changing scenery displayed on the monitor. As you drive, you hear the engine rumble, the brake squeal and the metal crunch if you crash. Some booths use movement to create sensations of acceleration, deceleration and turning. The sights, sound and feel of the game booth combine to create or simulate the experience of driving a car in a race. Other example is animated 7D movies. Whatever happens in the movie, you actually feel that is happening to you. Live simulations typically involve human and equipment and activity in a setting where they would operate in real. War games with soldiers out in the field are the best example of live simulation. Time is continuous as in the real world. Another example of live simulation is testing a car battery using an electrical tester. Virtual simulations typically involve humans and or equipment in a computer controlled setting. Time is in discrete steps, allowing user to concentrate on the important stuff, so to speak. A flight simulator falls into this category. Constructive simulations typically do not involve humans or equipment as participants. Rather than by time, they are driven more by the proper sequencing of events. The anticipated path of a hurricane might be constructed through application of temperatures, pressures, wind currents and other weather factors. Science-based simulations are typically constructive in nature. In technology, simulation is used for performance optimization. Computer simulation is a useful part of many natural systems in physics, chemistry and biology, and human systems in economics and social sciences as well as in engineering. It modeled a real life and hypothetical situation on a computer so that it can be studied to see how the system works. By changing variables in the simulation, predictions may be made about the behavior of the system. It is a tool to virtually investigate the behavior of the system under study. The best example of computer simulation is network traffic simulation. Training simulations is used in the training of civilian and military persons. Real equipments are costly. It is dangerous and difficult to allow trainees to use the real equipments in the real world. In such condition, they will learn all important lesson in safe virtual environment and get actual experience of a situation. Flight simulator is the best example of training simulator. Education simulations can provide tools for teachers to demonstrate and explain the behavior of complex and dynamic systems. Students can use models to conduct experimentation, to create and test hypotheses, and construct their own understanding of a system. The term microworld is used to refer to educational simulations. The projects for simulation in education are open source physics and NetSim. There are several examples of education simulator. 1. Project management simulation is used to train students and professionals in the art and science of project management. It improves the learning process. 2. Social simulations may be used in social sciences classroom to illustrate social and political process in anthropology, economics, history, political science or sociology courses, typically at the high school or university level. 3. Civic simulations. In civic simulation, participants assume roles in a simulated society, or international relations simulations in which participants engage in negotiations, alliance formation, trade, diplomacy, and the use of force. 4. The Global Challenge Award online STEM learning website uses microworld simulations to teach science concepts related to global warming and the future of energy. Medical simulator is used to teach therapeutic and diagnostic procedures as well as medical concepts and decision making personnel in the health professions. Simulators have been developed for training procedures such as blood draw, laparoscopic surgery, and trauma care. They are also important to help on prototyping new devices for biomedical engineering problems. Currently, simulators are applied to research and develop tools for new therapies, treatments, and early diagnosis in medicine. Entertaining simulation is used in industries such as video games, television, and films. An example of the video game simulator are arcade games and war games. SimCity and Tiger Woods PGA Tour are good example of it. These game simulators create interactions between the playable characters and the environment realistically. Another example of entertainment simulation is a theme park which includes Disney and Universal Park rides. In virtual simulator, user can interact with the virtual world. Virtual world operates on platforms of integrated software and hardware components. In this manner, the system can accept input from the user through body movement, voice or sound recognition, and produce output to the user through visual display. Motorcycle simulator is the example of virtual simulating. The user is given instruction to simulate how to move a bike from outside, and the effect of his movement is showing on screen. In finance, computer simulations are often used to scenario planning. Risk adjusted net value is computed from well defined but not always known inputs. It is a good example of financial simulator. Simulations are frequently used in financial training to engage participants in experiencing various historical as well as fictional situations. There are stock market simulations, portfolio simulations, risk management simulations, or models and forex simulations. Simulation is booming everywhere. It can be used in manufacturing, production, automobiles, robotics, marine, military, sports, and satellite navigation. For better understanding of simulation, here we are taking few examples. Flight simulators are used for training pilots in developing new skills in handling aircraft under unusual operating conditions and discovering the flight characteristics of a new aircraft. When you use simulator, then without flying aircraft simulator provide the actual feel that you are flying an aircraft. The Boeing 747 is the example of flight simulator. When the trainee takes off in the simulator, he sees an identical airport and its surroundings. The simulation of Boeing field show a fuel truck on the runway and Mount Rainier in the distance. The pilot also hears the rush of air around the wings that are not actually there. Besides, the simulator is tilted and shaken by 6 hydraulic systems. These are so convincing, which makes the trainee feels that he or she is actually controlling a real plane. Modern military and civilian aircraft are very expensive to construct. They require sophisticated engines, accurate navigation systems, reliable communication systems, and elaborate safety systems, which makes the production cost for each aircraft are very high. As a result of high production cost, it is not a good idea to train the would-be pilots in such aircraft. Hence, the evolution of flight simulator. Car companies are using driver simulations to design and evaluate new vehicles or new advanced driver systems to monitor driver behavior, performance, and attention. It is also helpful in training of drivers education courses, which is taught in educational institutions and private businesses. Example of driver simulator is bus simulator, truck simulator, and train simulator. Bus simulator is used to train bus drivers on routes, safe driving techniques, fuel efficiency techniques. It can be used for training drivers on a variety of bus models and on different type of gear transmissions. A lot of racing games are used for drivers. It is also used in research. Driving simulators allow researchers to study drivers' behavior under conditions in which it would be illegal and or unethical to place drivers. There are 3 types of network simulator: NS1, NS2 and NS3. All of them are discrete event computer network simulators. It used in research and teaching. NS3 simulator is used to make topology of network, in which we will see how packets sent and receive and how we can control on congestion. NetSim is another type of network simulation. It is used for network design and planning, defense application, and networks research and development. Various technologies such as cognitive radio, wireless sensor networks, wireless LAN, WiMAX, and TCP/IP are covered in NetSim. A mobile simulator is a software application for a personal computer which creates a virtual machine version of a mobile device such as a mobile phone, iPhone, or other smartphone. Calculator can also be included into this. One of the primary advantage of simulators is that they are able to provide users with practical feedback when designing real world systems. This allows the designer to determine the correctness and efficiency of a design before the system is actually constructed. The user can explore the merits of alternative designs without actually physically building the systems. 2. Bottleneck analysis can be performed to discover where work in process the system is delayed. 3. A simulation study can help in understanding how the system operates. 4. Simulators can be used as an effective means for teaching or demonstrating concepts to students. This is particularly true of simulators that make intelligent use of computer graphics and animation. Such simulators dynamically shows the behavior and relationships of all the simulated systems components, thereby providing the user with a meaningful understanding of the system's nature. Simulation results can be difficult to interpret. Simulation modeling and analysis can be time consuming and expensive. To simulate something, a deep understanding is needed and an awareness of all the factors involved. Without this, a simulation cannot be created. In this module, we have learned when you use simulator, then without using real system. It provides the actual feel of that system. In the examples discussed, we have seen how without flying aircraft, we feel that we are flying an aircraft. Hear air sound and all the movement of flight. The simulator is very useful in training, education and research. It increases the performance of the system, reduces production cost. If we use actual item for training purpose, it would be very costly. That is why we use simulators. There are lots of video games use simulations. These games are used virtual simulators where users are given instruction outside the screen and it will reflect on the actual screen. Nowadays, simulation is useful in each and every field. Thank you.